Program in the Winnebago County Jail now helping more than 1,000 inmates break the cycle of addiction.
It's called STAR. That stands for Sobriety Treatment Assisted Recovery. Emily Roberts live this morning outside the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office in Oshkosh. Emily, how does STAR make a difference?
Tammy Emerson, inmates can find resources in the recovery community before being released. They can see a recovery coach, join support groups, take classes, even get vivitrol injections. So vivitrol helps block drug and alcohol cravings. The program evolving since 2022 to make an even bigger difference alongside Solutions Recovery. Now inmates can join a recovery pod to spend their time in jail with other people in similar situations. Solutions Recovery says nearly 300 inmates joined the pods since starting. Former inmate John Schrapp says he thinks he benefited most from the education in the pod, like classes on techniques like breath work, mindfulness, and learning more about addiction. Schrapp says he just reached 300 days sober.
It's really kind of serene, it's this huge weight gets lifted off your shoulders when you get vulnerable for the first time with people that aren't going to judge you.
Now they get to work side by side, one-on-one with their peers and form good plans for when they're going to leave us.
If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction or mental health, you can reach out to Solutions 24/7 help hotline or dial 988 for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Live in Oshkosh, Emily Roberts, Action 2 News.